Tundu Lissu tells court that he fears on his safety. And in sports, long-serving Sekafa Secretary General Nicholas Musenyi steps down. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The government has called on Tanzanians not to contribute on purchase of transformers and other equipment in order to get connected to electricity services. The statement was made in Dar es Salaam by the Minister of Energy, Dr. Menad Kalemani, when launching a new transformer with the capacity to generate 240 megawatts of power, which are expected to increase electricity generation in the regions of Dar es Salaam, Coast, as well as Zanzibar.
Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti wa bodi na bodi yako na MD na management, naomba hili tulisimamie.
Board chair, managing director and entire management must help us with this. When a customer makes a requisition to be connected, he is asked to buy his own transformer, wiring and other items. We cannot allow this because if a customer buys the transformer, then it belongs to him.
Mimi sasa hivi na mimi natembea na kifua mbele, hata nikikutana na watu nasema bwana jengeni viwanda.
Now I can confidently advise investors to build factories because we have enough capacity. Our experts have been able to supervise contractors, and today this has been made possible.
Kutoka 220 kuja kwenye msongo wa 132 ni ziada ambayo haikusaidi kitu.
The Chief Legal Officer of Opposition Party Chadema, Tundu Lissu, through his surety Ibrahim Ahmed, has told the Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam that he is ready to return home, but he is concerned on his safety. Ibrahim Ahmed told the court that he had informed Tundu Lissu, who is facing incitement charges, that he is required to appear in court and that he had responded by saying he would like to return to the country, but he was worried about his security. On his part, Magistrate Thomas Simba wanted Tundu Lissu to stop making excuses and appear in court by December 21st this year. The case was adjourned until January 20th next year. In another development, the incitement case facing 9 Chadema leaders was also adjourned until 23rd December after the defendant's advocate Peter Kibatala failed to appear in court due to family reasons. Magistrate Thomas Simba also requested the 9th accused Esther Bulaya to represent her passport in court as ordered by the court on December 6th. President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein, has expressed displeasure on some institutions and individuals who misuse the Kiswahili language. Dr. Shein expressed concern in his address read on his behalf by the second Vice President, Ambassador Saif Ali Idi, when opening an international conference on Kiswahili organized by the Kiswahili Council in the Isles.
People's desire to learn the language and grab the opportunity. The use of Kiswahili in driving forth development, investors have no choice but to use Kiswahili so products can be promoted in a language easily understood. Kiswahili stakeholders must fully utilize opportunities available.
A month after a volunteer teacher at Itirio Secondary School, Justin Ogo, was murdered by 8 youth from the Weregi community as an offering to get blessings for circumcision ceremonies, which started this month, teachers and employees at Itirio village in Mara region have expressed fear, claiming they have received threats from tribal elders. They made their claims during a meeting with the Defense and Security Committee in the region.
What I can say is that this incident has greatly saddened us. Presently, it is just myself and the head teacher. The rest of the staff are traumatized and have gone to spend some time with family. After he was shot, the clan head went to the crime scene. When he saw that the victim had died, he declared that now genital mutilation this year will take place. Teachers have been traumatized and some have decided not to live here. They come and go back. What has happened this year is elders have ordered for human blood to be spilled, so this exercise goes on. The children who killed the victim bear witness to this, that instructions came from you.
Now, Chief Justice of Tanzania, Professor Ibrahim Juma, has warned employees of the judiciary against use of offensive language to people who go to court to follow up on their cases, as this can stop them from following up on their rights. Chief Justice Professor Ibrahim Juma gave the warning when addressing employees of Bukombe and Geita district courts after launching them.
You must refrain from the use of abusive language towards our clients who are stakeholders. Corruption, because it is a threat to justice and wasting time. There has been killings of the elderly because of witchcraft beliefs. I ask you to respect life. It is everyone's hope that now justice will be served. We are grateful that this has been made available to us.
The Deputy Minister of Water, Juma Aweso, has directed stern action be taken against contractors who implemented 159 projects in the country, which, despite their completion, do not provide water services. He gave the directive in Dodoma when opening a water sector general meeting.
We must list all problematic projects which have been carried out, so engineers in charge shall no longer be awarded contracts. Contractors and those serving in advisory capacity who have intentionally caused losses and embezzlement of government funds belonging to the very poor and weak must be reported to the relevant authority so they can be dealt with accordingly. I would like to urge my fellow experts that a lot has been invested in provision of clean and safe water, yet sewage and water from manufacturing industries is being produced at an alarming rate.
The Union of Dairy Cooperatives in Kilimanjaro region has said they are forced to throw away milk due to lack of reliable market, despite the government sensitizing Tanzanians to increase consumption of milk and production of dairy cattle. The Deputy Minister of Livestock, Abdallah Ulega, has expressed disappointment on the latest development after visiting youth groups involved in the production of feed for livestock and dairy business.
Milk producers in Kilimanjaro and a Kilimanjaro dairy produced a lot of milk but have no market. This is a big challenge. Various livestock and other stakeholders, experts, must find a solution. A large proportion of what we produce goes to waste. We are still behind. We produce, yet we haven't moved to the next stage on value addition. There are a lot of dairy products, some you have not yet seen. Some of the unions are not performing well and farmers are dissatisfied. There are disagreements amongst leaders. We must restore previous systems which have been abused by union leaders.
Non-governmental organizations in the country and China have entered into a development agreement being part of a special plan by Chinese President Xi Jinping to support African countries.
Wakiongozwa na naibu spika wa bunge la China.
This delegation is led by Deputy Speaker of the People's Republic of China Parliament, who is also senior leader of the Communist Party, together with leaders from non-governmental organizations. So today's meeting was to bring together non-governmental organizations from Tanzania and China so they can work together in various initiatives.
Dating back to the 1960s and 70s, it was Chairman Mao Zedong, Chairman Zhou Enlai, and Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere who created and cultivated the China-Tanzania relationship. China joined Tanzania to train the freedom fighters for other southern African countries, aided the construction of Kansara and dispatching the medical aid teams to Tanzania, while Tanzania spearheaded tirelessly the campaign for the People's Republic of China to take our rightful seat in the United Nations.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, has ordered government's ministers, institutions and public officers in the country to immediately change the cash procurement system for government goods and instead to utilize the digital system in order to address the problem of corruption.
Our logic prayer is not to put leaders in temptations. These so-called contractors should not dare us. From now onwards, procurement of government things will be done digitally. Whoever will go against the directive, we're going to consider it as an offense.
The chairman of the Electoral Commission in Burundi has directed defense and safety organs to protect the preparation exercise for the upcoming elections in the country due to their proximity to centers where citizens will be voting.
Security organs does the job of protecting people and assets. Even in elections, they are also responsible in maintaining peace and security in voting centers. We are still calling on the organizations to carry on the good job so that we can have peaceful elections.
Hours of debate in the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives led to an overwhelming vote to impeach Trump last night. Lawmakers passed 2 articles of impeachment. The abuse of power charge based on allegations that Trump withheld almost $400 million in military aid to Ukraine to pressure it into investigating his political rival Joe Biden was passed 230 to 197. Obstruction of Congress, the second charge based on Trump's alleged attempts to stop top aides from testifying, was passed 229 to 198. The vote followed months of public and private hearings in front of the House Judiciary Committee. Trump will now face trial in the Republican-controlled Senate in 2020. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next after this short break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The chairman of Tanzania Mining Commission, Professor Idrisa Kikula, has said that 10,381.89 square kilometers of mineral mining areas, which initially had retention licenses, will be distributed to citizens. He said the areas were returned to the government due to amendments in the mining law of 2017.
Following the amendments, the licenses were taken to the government for decision-making, where the feedback was sent back to the Ministry of Minerals and Minerals Committee. We would like the public to be aware that 10 mining areas will be issued by tender. Any owner who will fail to adhere to the amendments within 30 days, legal measures will be taken against them according to Minerals Act, including offences like licenses which have not been paid annual fee, unproductive licenses, and licenses that have not been taken by their owners in our offices.
Dar es Salaam Commercial Bank DCB has launched a school fees loan service which will enable customers get loans within 48 hours in order to pay their children's fees. DCB efforts are there to solve challenges facing our community, especially education sector. Recently, we launched DCB Skonga. It is a saving account available in DCB only, where it allows parents and guardians to save money. As a parent or guardian, we are welcoming you at DCB Bank to all our branches in order to access this service for good learning environment of your children. Some members of cooperative unions in Tabora have urged the government to make amendments to the law guiding formation of cooperative unions so as to stop mushrooming of cooperative unions which are unable to operate due to poor management. The Act says that a group that has about 50 people can form an AMCOS group. In areas where there is tobacco farming, it is not easy to establish such groups. Personally, I think this law is a little bit confusing because in most cases in one area, one can find up to 3 groups. The previous Act disclosed about area of operation, which is not clear in the current Act. And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows up next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lynn.
sports news. Long-serving Council of East and Central African Football Association (CECAFA) Secretary General Nicolas Musonye has stepped down from his position. Here's more on the story.
Musonye has been serving the body for the last 20 years, and he made the announcement during the CECAFA Annual Congress in Uganda, but admitted he will remain to oversee the transition of office responsibilities to the new members. I'll remain for some time to ensure a smooth transition, but you know, I told my time here is almost up after 20 years, and I'm happy with the achievements we have managed during my tenure, Musonye told reporters. Meanwhile, Tanzania Football Federation TFF President Wallace Karia has been elected new CECAFA President and will serve for a 4-year term. Karia replaced Mutasim Gafar of Sudan Football Association, whose tenure expired in November 2019.
Protests after Wednesday night's Clásico between Real Madrid and Barcelona turned violent, with several arrests and reports of injuries outside the Camp Nou. Here's the report.
During the goalless draw, clashes began between police and protesters outside the ground as demonstrations continued surrounding the Catalan separatist movement. Police sources told Go that 9 people have been arrested for throwing objects at law enforcement officials. The match between the two rivals was originally set for on October 26th, but the Spanish FA decided to push back kickoff by 2 months after fierce protests in Barcelona regarding prison sentences handed down to several key figures in the Catalan separatist movement. The match itself was mostly uneventful on the pitch, but it did include brief delay when fans hurled yellow balls onto the pitch.
Manchester United and defending champions Manchester City will renew hostilities after being drawn together in the blockbuster matchup of the Carabao Cup semi-finals.
2 English giants will fight for a place in the tournament's final against the winner of the other last 4 fixture between Leicester City and Aston Villa. Both Manchester sides got through to the semis against plucky lower league opposition, with Red Devils grinding out a 3-0 win against League 2 side Colchester United, while Raheem Sterling's brace helped City to defeat League 1 club Oxford United 3-1. Leicester, meanwhile, required a penalty shootout to progress past Everton, as Jamie Vardy converted the winning spell kick after Leighton Baines' dramatic stoppage time equaliser ensured the match finished 2-2 at the end of 90 minutes.
And Cristiano Ronaldo has explained the origin of his famous C celebration. Here are more details.
The Juventus star has become known for the celebration in which he performs a mid-air pirouette before exclaiming "Sí," which in Spanish for yes, upon landing. "I started saying it when I was at Real Madrid," Ronaldo said in a snippet from an interview that will be released in full on December 26th. "When we all won, they say sí. I started saying it. I don't know why. It came naturally to me. I remember the preseason in Los Angeles who play against Chelsea. I scored a goal and I did this celebration." People asked him why did he do it. He didn't know. He did it. He turned around, but naturally, because he always says that the best things happen in a natural way.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.